Alright, so everybody loves a story time, and present day, I'm currently living in Atlanta, Georgia with my son, and all my family is asking how did I get here from Texas, from Dallas, Texas. So I'll give y'all a small little story time, because then we're going to speed it back up, because God give me like a daily word for y'all like every day, right? So I'm going to try to make a long story as short as I can. God spoke to me. Holy Spirit came and spoke to me and let me know I had to move to Atlanta. I had to move to Georgia. And it was clear as day. I was in church. We had a guest pastor. Guest pastor was from Atlanta. And the first words out of his mouth was go now. And I just knew. I knew, and I continued to receive confirmation that it was Atlanta. And the main thing that let me know was I had been searching for apartments as I was on the journey, praying to God. I was searching for apartments, and the day that I was booking my flight to go out, I was only going to have 24 hours to come and search for apartments in Atlanta. I had, done like virtual tours and stuff like that, but I booked my flight to come out and look at apartments, and I'm going to insert how much I actually paid for the ticket. Somehow, I had not flown since COVID, but somehow I had coupons from a good friend of mine, and I had like points, or I don't know, voucher points, but the money that I only spent on my ticket is the amount that I'm going to insert here. And I just started crying because I knew that was nothing but God for me to be able to get a round trip ticket for this price. And that was like my final confirmation. Prior to that, I had gone back to my home church in Oklahoma, where I received a word, a very prophetic word. The apostle told me everything that prophetic word, all of that prophetic word that I received was either had come to pass or was coming to pass. And it was like my life was moving so fast, so fast, so fast. I continued to pray, and the Lord then let me know I had to move before winter. Very specific, and I was just like, okay. So of course my family's like, why do you have to move so fast? I'm like, I don't know, but God said I gotta do it. So I moved top of December, and I know I'm all over the place, sorry, but because that's how I felt, like all over the place, like organized but all over the place. But when I flew out, and the Lord told me I couldn't tell anyone. I had to do it. He said, it's just me and you, it's just me and you. So no one in my family knew what I was doing. I was just doing it by myself, looking by myself. And then the day that I was getting the ticket and looking, my cousin reached out, and he said, hey, where are you going to be living in the next year or so? And I was like, Lord, why is it so random that he's reaching out? And I was like, can I tell him? And gave me the okay. And I told him, and he lived at the time about 3 hours from Atlanta. And so he was like, great, I think it's dope, I think it's amazing, you should do it. And so he was like, okay, I'll come down, and I'll pick you up from the airport, and I'll take you to look at the apartments, and then I'll take you back to the airport. Because again, like it was a day trip that I took. Like I flew in, looked at the apartments, and flew back. And so while trying to get a list of apartments that I was going to come look at within like this amount of time, like from sun up to sundown, I was like, God, how am I going to do this? Again, walking by faith. So I got to where I surrendered everything to God. I would be stressing, trying to figure out what areas I'm going to live in, because yes, Atlanta has become very dangerous, as we all know. And I'm a single mom, so I was like, God, how am I going to do this? And I would be up stressing at night, and then God would just tell me we were so I'm going to give it to him. And I would just literally just throw it up to God and I'd give it to him and I'd go to sleep. Because I knew he was going to take care of it. I knew 100% of my heart he's going to take care of any doubts, any fears, any questions that I have. Anything I'm stressing about, I just gave it to him. So I gave it to him and I woke up and I was just like, I heard him say, you will know the apartment you're going to move in before you get on the plane to Atlanta. Like before you get there, you're going to know. And so I was just like, okay. Of course, like, we're all human, so I was still kind of like, hey, you ain't told me yet, you ain't told me what apartment it is. Yes, it was getting closer, but I also knew, like, I knew it was coming, so I had, you have your list of your favorites that you like from what you've researched. Then I kind of knew, like, okay, I think it's this one. This one I'm leaning more towards, but he also let me know, I'm using you as an example for your cousin that's coming with you, and he's going to be shocked at the blessings that I bless you with. And sure enough, I get there when I'm getting off the plane, and I'm like, I know which one it is. I'm like, it's this one, but I still want to, look at the other ones, but I know that it's this one. So I tell my cousin, hey, let's go see this one first. And we're riding around on the little golf cart. And the woman, she's telling us the different stuff, and she's throwing in all this other extra stuff. And my cousin's like, dang. Like, from all the blessings. And in that moment, our Holy Spirit said, you see, like, he's able to see how I'm moving through you so that he can have confirmation on, like, what I can do in his life, too, because I'm doing it in your life. And that was just a blessing. We go look at the other apartments, even though I knew, like, this is it. So long story short, I am sitting right now in that apartment complex and I'll insert some of where I toured the apartments. I did end up getting a larger unit. The Holy Spirit spoke to me and told me, hey, no, you do need a larger unit because family comes to visit all the time. But I moved to those apartments and God blessed me, even to the point to where I was stubborn and was losing those blessings, being stubborn, and still came back and blessed me with the blessings that I thought I wasn't going to get. So just trusting God and really walking by faith and just knowing that he had me covered on this journey. I drove then basically, so I was able to pay the deposit and not have to do too much, and they held it for me for a couple of months, and I could change my move-in date if I needed to, because I was still trying to figure out how am I doing this, how am I driving a U-Haul and getting my son here who is in a car seat. He can't be in the U-Haul. God worked it out to me, so I drove the U-Haul, left my car in Texas, drove the U-Haul, and I did it around Thanksgiving, so my son was able to ride back with family through Tennessee, and they brought him here while I was moving in, and then me and my son flew back together and then drove back in my car. So it's just a blessing. God literally worked it out. So anything, I tell you that story so that you can know, like I said, y'all want to know a little story time, but I also know that anything that you are trying to do, if you trust God and if it's for you, God will make it happen. Like, there's no mountain too tall. Like, God will work it out and he'll do it for you. Don't allow your fears and your doubts to outweigh you and outweigh what God can do. Because if it's for you, I seriously mean it will happen. If that's what God has for you, it will happen for you. And there's nothing, no one or anything can do to stop it. I promise you. I was supposed to move to Atlanta before I ever had my son. But God allowed me to know, he let me know everything happens for a reason. And the woman I am today is not the woman I was before I had my son. And I won't be influenced in the ways that I potentially would have been influenced all those years ago. So just trust God's timing. Don't sit back and be like, dang, I should have did this many years ago. Just trust where you are today, right now, in this moment. And whatever you're doing, go do it. Go for it. If you hear God's voice, be obedient. Be obedient. I'm making this video right now to be obedient, to speak to you. If you are watching this, it is for you. to encourage you. Be obedient. Do what you have been called to do, because you don't know who you are going to influence. God bless you and have a beautiful day.